Oh, why should we care about cybersecurity?
Oh, big question. I think that cybersecurity is one of the biggest potential problems that we have in the world these days. So that's a pretty good reason to care about it.
I think cybersecurity is a really important issue because accountancy is becoming more dependent on digital technologies, and obviously making sure that data is secure is really important.
You are both writers. What's the biggest mistake people make when they're communicating their services to potential clients? Now, I think, based on the many discussions and arguments that we've had in our time, that the answer to this question is really jargon. Using jargon all the time, sort of very specialized language that your sort of average client might not actually understand. And I think that really blocks people from being able to have a meaningful conversation with the people they want to work with.
I think a lot of people get carried away with the information that they want to convey, and really they need to focus on the story they want to tell. Having a strong sense of narrative can really make a memorable story. That's me, isn't it? Okay. Does Ben Affleck's portrayal of an accountant in the film The Accountant make you want to become an accountant?
I've been wanting to see
We haven't seen the film
for ages.
I know he has guns. Like he has like a big gun. Is that the film? Or is that the...
I mean, I think that might be the film. It just occurs to me that maybe that's not a very mainstream representation of what it is to be an accountant. I've met a lot of accountants.
Much cooler.
Yeah, and also most of the accountants that I've met are really nice and probably don't have guns. Oh, another big question. Are entrepreneurs born or made? I've met small children who definitely demonstrate the skills of an entrepreneur. Whether they sort of grow up to be entrepreneurs is something different. Equally, I think some people bloom later in life and discover their entrepreneurial skill set.
Why shouldn't businesses fear social media? I'm scared of social media. I never know what to say on it. But I've never managed to create any international scandals, no matter how bad I tweet. So I think, it's just getting over that initial fear and learning to kind of embrace the fact that it is a conversation.
And I think just because that's happening in a digital space doesn't make it any less real than a conversation that you'd have with someone in a shop or with a family member or a friend. So I don't think businesses should be scared of social media unless they're scared of talking to their customers in the first place. Where would you be without your accountant? I think I would be not very far. Probably at home, locked in a room, not having showered, being very, very worried about everything from VAT through to bookkeeping. That's where I would be. Where would you be, Jesse?
Well, I'm kind of the person who doesn't like to ask questions. So if I'm given like a tool like QuickBooks, I'll sit there for hours and hours poking around, not getting anywhere. So it's good to have an accountant who can kind of explain to me what it's meant to look like.
If there was a zombie apocalypse, how would accountants save the world? I feel like maybe to answer this question well, we have to think about the origins of accounting, which is something we're going to touch on today in our presentation, right? So Jesse has been telling me about quiche tablets, which were one of the earliest forms of sort of bookkeeping on rocks. How many years ago?
6,000 years ago. It's the earliest form of any kind of writing. Was engravings on tiny little stone tablets. And these stone tablets were initially thought that maybe they were like love letters or like political communications or whatever. But eventually they cracked the language and they figured out, actually, these are ledgers. The oldest one is the recording a transaction between two people. They are trading 3 goats. And that was very important to record at the time.
So I think in a zombie apocalypse, just, looking back on that nugget of history, we can understand that whatever the circumstances post-zombie apocalypse, accountants are going to have our backs and be able to work with whatever resources are there, because those fundamental principles don't change, do they?
I suppose not. Oh, what a great question. Is an accountant worth it?
Yes, 100%. what would we do without our accountants?
I think you just create so many headaches if you don't have someone who's qualified to do the accounting. I mean, why would you not have an accountant? Next question.
If you had the powers, would you abolish tax, and why? I think I would not abolish all taxes, but I would drastically rethink the tax system. There are some very interesting ideas about a transactional tax to replace all other kinds of taxes.
I'm trying to figure out if it would be make accountants happy because they'd have less to do, or just put them out of work. We need to be quicker, like quick fire, quick fire.
We're bad at quick fire.
I keep thinking.
We just want to write articles on these things.
Oh, the best career advice. I can't say that. I can't say that because it's rude.
The best piece of career advice I was ever given was to stop focusing on trying to be the best and start focusing on trying to make the work better. And as soon as I did that little adjustment in my mind, I found myself striving forward and feeling a lot happier in what I was doing. So I'd like to pass that one along. What a topical question. What would you do as Prime Minister for the day? Given what happened in the election last night, I think if I was Prime Minister for the day today, I'd be admitting defeat and resigning.
Will accountants be replaced by robots?
Accountants, as we know them right now, with some of the sort of responsibilities that they have, may well be replaced by robots. But that just means that accountancy is being transformed, not that the profession as a whole is being replaced by the robots.
I think accountants will get more used to working with robots rather than being replaced by them. They just need to make sure that they stay in control of them.
Like all of us.
Like Terminator.